This year in junior advisory, we have looked at several different pathways that Lowell High School offers, and another one is the education pathway. LHS's education pathway consists of 3 courses: the Principles of Teaching course, which is currently taught by Mr. Giannotti, the Child and Adolescent Development course, which will currently be taught by Mr. McClendon, and Teaching and Learning, the course that was previously known as Education Professions 2, is currently being taught by Mrs. O'Neill. Of course, teachers and their subjects that they teach can change, but as of this recording, those are the teachers for those classes. Let's talk a little bit about each one of them. In Principles of Teaching, this is your introductory course, and you learn a little bit about everything. We learn about philosophies of education, we learn about technology in education, we learn about theories of education such as Bloom's taxonomy or Howard Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences. You get a little bit of everything. It's a survey course, and it is a year-long course. In Child and Adolescent Development, they examine the physical, social, emotional, cognitive, and moral development of the child, and they focus on the adolescent, which would be teenagers. This class is very much a educational psychology class, so you would be working with the cognitive development of students quite a bit. Also, this class focuses on the influence of parents, peers, and the school environment, culture, and even the media. Teaching and Learning, formerly known as Education Professions 2, is where you will finally learn how to plan instruction, implement instruction, and you get field experience. You would go down to the elementaries or the middle school or maybe even the high school, and you would be paired with a teacher where you would actually observe them and get to instruct students as well. Indiana has 2 of the top colleges for education in the country. Indiana University is ranked very highly within the top 10 of all education schools in the country, and Ball State also has a very high rating. So if you want to go into education and you want to stay in state to save tuition money, it's very possible to get one of the best educations possible for teaching. There is a teacher shortage. Currently in Indiana alone, there are 1,400 unfilled teaching positions. And I tell you that because sometimes when you get a degree after 4 years, it can be difficult to find a job in your field. That is not the case in education. If you work hard and get good grades, after 4 years, there is a job waiting for you in the state of Indiana. And you might be thinking, but teachers don't get paid a lot of money. And that's somewhat of a myth. Teachers don't get paid a lot of money when compared to other professionals like lawyers or like doctors, but they still do bring down a pretty good check. They don't start at the highest salary, although because of the shortage, starting salaries are on their way up. But on the back end, they can't exceed $80,000 a year, which I think is a very good salary. And salary doesn't take into consideration things like health insurance, retirement plans, and other fringe benefits, which in education are very good, better than many occupations that perhaps pay more money in a check, but don't do much for your retirement on the back end. But honestly, teachers don't teach because of money. Teachers teach because they love kids and they love their students. And there's no better payment than a thank you from a parent or a thank you from a student because they appreciate something that you've done for them. If you are worried about money, there are, of course, extracurriculars in teaching, and that's pretty unique, I think, to most occupations. You could coach a sport, you could run a club, you could run an activity, and all of those types of things come with an additional stipend, so you could add to your base salary that way. However, an education degree doesn't have to exactly lead to teaching. It's not a one-to-one relationship. There are many jobs, and this is just a few of them, that you could do with an education degree. And of course, their salaries can range anywhere from $30,000 to all the way up to $100,000, and that's just a starting salary, depending on which job you choose. So you have to ask yourself, why is there a shortage of teachers? And believe it or not, it's really not about the money. There's a shortage of teachers in Indiana because there's a lack of respect for teachers from our government officials. But I do feel like that's going to change. I feel like that has to change because of the shortage. If not a lot of students are going into education, then the state of Indiana needs to do a better job of respecting the profession. And I think that by the time you get out of college, that change will have been made. Finally, it's more important to be happy than it is to make a lot of money. And of course, you need to make enough money to pay the bills and to put food on the table and to take a nice vacation and to raise a family. But if that gets in the way of happiness, if you're miserable at your job, then really money can't replace that misery. You need to be happy and you need to choose a profession that will make you happy. If that's education, then the money will be there. Work hard, do your best, and go into a field that makes you happy and fulfills you.